Paul and John account password are encrypted using a type 7 password, type 7 encryption algorithm, but the new username, which is Chris, has what is the password encrypted using a type 5 hashing algorithm, the MD5 hashing algorithm. I hope this is clear. And even the way it is encrypted, you can see it is different. See the password of Chris and the password of John and Paul. They are not even having the same length, and the one of Chris is having more special characters and letters. Okay. Yeah. So this is how it's work. Okay. So now, okay. Let me check my running configuration file again. We didn't finish to check everything. So I have the host name. I have what the user accounts that are there. I have my happy domain that are configured, which is also there. Okay. I can continue. I have my IP address that are configured, which is also there. Okay. I can go down. Okay. And under the line VHY, okay, under the line VHY, you can see that I have what? I have line activated the line VH1 0 and 1. Okay, 0 and 1. But under the line VH1 0 and 1, I have configured the login local, and I also configured the transport input SSH. Okay, so only SSH here will be accepted for what? For SSH here it's like I configured SSH for those two lines only. Okay, I configured SSH for line VH1 0 and 1. Okay, so those are the line VH1 that are actually activated for SSH. But now I didn't configure anything on the line conf 0 and the line the auxiliary line here. Okay, so now you can see that we also have the line VH1 2 and 4, but now nothing is here. Okay, here we only have the login. So it means that if someone is using the line VH1 2 and 4 here to access the device, they will provide here only a password and not a user account. Okay, so now let me continue. So okay, let me check my list. Okay, line VHY here checked, login local configured. Okay, so now yeah, Pamela, another one.
Yes, please. The VTY 2 and 4, I didn't see you configuring it. How come it came there by default?
Yeah, it's because.
And would you advise that?
It's because by default, I remember that I told you that by default, how many VH1 lines are activated?
By default.
Yeah, I told
5.
you 5 from 0 up to.
Okay. 5.
Okay.
4.
Okay, so let me go on this router. I will show you. So by default, okay, there's 5 VH1 lines that are activated from 0 up to, okay, from 0 up to 4. Let me go on this router here. No. So conft do show run, and you can see that if I go down here, by default 4 VH1 lines is activated. Okay, but now, okay, let me 4 VH1 lines, 4 meaning from 0 1 2 3 4 5, but now I only used those 2. Okay, meaning that what will remain is for what? For 2 to 4, for 2 to 4, right? Which is activated by default. You understand now?
Okay.
Because I used those.
So would you advise that we
Okay, so I
would
use
you
those 2.
advise that we disable them?
Advise what? Come again?
Yeah, I was asking whether you'd advise that we disable the 2 to 4, because logging there means that if someone mistakenly left a default password in there, we'll be able to log in. Meanwhile, we want to insist that people use SSH.
Right now,
so it will be like
okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but even right now, if you see on this router, on the line VHY that are activated by default, there is nothing, right? There is no SSH and Telnet configured precise. Okay, I have one question. Do you think it will work like this? If someone try to access to SSH or Telnet on this router, do you think it will work? This is only a matter of logic. Do you think it will work? If someone tries to access this router here, okay, let me this router which is here, this new router here, let's say that this new router, I didn't configure anything on this new router which is here, okay, but by default it has 4 virtual LAN that are activated, and then we didn't precise Telnet and SSH, which protocol the router will use for remote access. So do you think that if we were having, let's say, devices that are connected to the router here, and they will be able to Telnet or SSH into this router? Pamela?
Yeah, I'm thinking by default Telnet is enabled. So if there's a
Telnet is enabled by default.
As a default,
Telnet is not enabled by default, because if you have to precise it here for it to work, it means that if you don't precise it, if it is not precise, it won't work. By default here, you can't Telnet or SSH into the router. Let's test it. This router didn't activate anything. Let me connect the switch. Let me put a switch, for instance, here. Let me put a device, another device here. Let me connect them. Okay, let me give this device here an IP address, because I told you connectivity should be there for there to work. Okay, the default gateway here is 192.168.1.254. okay, and let me go on the router and activate the interface of the router. Interface Ethernet 0/0. Let me give him the IP address 192.168.1.254, 255.25. Made a mistake. 255.255.255.0. Let me activate it. No shutdown. Okay. So now let me go on the device here, the computer. Let me try to see it if we can ping the router. Ping 192.168.1.254. This one is still range. Okay, at least it worked. 3 lost and 1 worker. Okay, so let me try again. Okay, now it's working fine. They can communicate together. So now I did not configure any Telnet or SSH on this router. Let me check again. Do show run. You can see that right now. Okay, if I go down, I only configure the IP address on this interface of the router, but I did not configure any SSH or Telnet under the line VHY. But now I know the IP address of code that I configure on this router, and I will use that IP address to SSH to Telnet it into this router. So now let me go on the route on the device here. Okay, and from the command prompt here, let me use the command Telnet 192.168.1.254. You see? So trying is they are saying what? Trying 192.192.2. They are trying to open the connection, but after the connection is what? Is closed. Each time that I will try to create the connection, it will try to establish, and then it will close the connection, because it's Telnet and SSH. So when this one was to launch the connection, okay, when this one will try to establish the connection, the Telnet connection, you will try to establish the Telnet connection. The Telnet connection is not activated here, so it won't work, and then at a specific moment the connection here will close. Okay, because I did not specify, because it's you have to enter a command under the line virtual to activate it for it to work. So if it is not there, it won't work. So if you don't enter the transport input SSH or Telnet, it won't work. And this is logic. Okay, so now if I go on the same router, if I go on the same router now, okay, and I decide to go, for instance, now to under the line VHY, line VH1 0 up to 4, and I configure, for instance, a password Cisco, no, password test, for instance, and I input the command login. Okay, press enter, and I exit. Okay, no, before exiting, let me configure transport input Telnet. Okay, now Telnet is activated. Let me exit. Okay, let me check my configuration, do show run. Okay, you can see that now under the line v1, under the line v2, I have now the password which is set, the transport input Ethernet saying that Ethernet is activated, and I have my password which is set. Okay, without forgetting that if you forget, without forgetting the login command for it to work. Okay, so now I can go back to the device here and try to open a new connection using the same thing. You can see that now it's working. I have to provide now the password, which was what, test, and I'm into the router. By default it won't work. Telnet is not activated by default. SSH is also not activated by default. You are the one activating those protocols, because if they are activated by default, it's a security matter. Anyone can have access to it. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so now where was I? Let me check the list. Okay, so I configured almost everything. Okay, I configured almost everything. So now what I have to do, so let me check my configuration, do show run. Let me check the running configuration file. I configured the username, I configured the IP address. Let me go under the line v1. Okay, yes, I configured the login local and the login local so that the router will prompt me for providing what, the username and the password. The transport input SSH, only SSH is activated, and the other ones are there. So now what I'm going to do, I told you that I have to also SSH version, I have two version of SSH, version 1 and version 2, but the one which is preferred is version 2. So you can activate SSH version 2 by using the command IP version, IP SSH version. You input, let me use the question mark command. You can see that when using the question mark command, I have SSH version 1 and 2. So the one that I want to use is 2. Okay, now you can see that SSH version 2 is activated. Okay, so now you can check do show run. Okay, let me do show run, and you can see that here my IP SSH version 2 command was accepted. Okay, so now everything is set. If I go back here, everything is set. Everything is set. So now what I can do is just to go back. Let me go back to the. Okay, everything is set. Okay, so everything is set. Okay, let me show you this one. You see right now I'm into the running configuration file, but if I want to exit from the running configuration file, I can go down using the enter key on the keyboard. Press it until I will exit. But I can also use this combination. Let me go back to the running configuration file using the command do show run. Okay, but now when going down, instead of going down to exit the running configuration file, you can use the combination Control plus C. Okay, Control plus C. Use the combination Control, okay, plus C, and it will get you out directly from the running configuration file. Okay, let me test from here. To press Ctrl plus C, and you will see directly it will take you back to the global mode of configuration. Okay, so this is another tip for you to use in order to work efficiently when configuring the device. Okay, so now Pamela, I can feel you today. Yeah.
So I wanted to know. So far, I see you haven't saved the configuration,
but I'm not done
and
yet.
everything is in there. So, assuming you are in real working environment,
Yeah.
would you advise that when you save, you do a little bit, you save, or you want to finish everything before you save?
No.
In the middle, maybe before.
Oh, so sorry for cutting you short. You continue. Go ahead.
Okay. So so assuming you want to reserve the saving for the last to finish everything, and in the middle maybe getting close to the end of what you want to do, I don't know, power, you miss something and then everything goes off, then you would have lost the configuration, right? So would you advise when
No,
you do some line of configuration you save, another line, maybe 2 3 lines you save?
no, I won't advise you to wait for the end to wait for you to finish to configure everything and then you save your configuration. What is advised in real environment? What is advised is after you have done some configuration, okay, then you save your configuration, okay, but you save your configuration. But now there are some environment where they will make sure that even if there is a power outage or there is something, okay, they have like some kind of power backup, okay, some kind of UPS data. When it comes to computers, sometimes we use what UPS, right? Okay, even if light off, you have your UPS which is there, the laptop is still on, you can still have some time to save what your configuration, even if there is no light, there is light off. So they can have those such backup, power backup, okay, where if everything goes, there is no light or there is light off or there is a power outage, okay, they still have this power backup that can give them some time to save what their configuration. Then if this, and then this only for companies those that have money to implement all this, but those who don't have money, they will not have all this, you understand? So at that time, the only what we can advise them, say anytime they will make a change, they have to save. Anytime they will make a change, they have to save. Anytime they will make a change, they have to save, and this is normally what is advised, okay. So now I'm not doing it right now because I'm not expecting, okay, my configuration or this my packet tracer to go off and everything. But what is advised is what you are saying. Yes, it's true. To save your configuration, anytime you make 1 or 2 3 changes, save your configuration. And this is what is advised in real environment when you're working, because you don't know what can happen, okay. You don't know what can happen, so save your configuration. Anytime you make some changes, save your configuration. Are you okay?
Yes, please. Let me chip in this. The advantage sometimes, I'm foreseeing that the advantage to not saving the things also, just in case you run a wrong configuration. I mean, on a live network, just in case you run a wrong command that affects the network, then maybe because you have not saved, after rebooting the device, I guess whatever wrong command you configured would have cleared, and then you restore your network, right?
Yeah, but it's not really a big deal because you can change it, right? If you have been able to understand that, okay, I made a mistake by configure, I shouldn't configure this like this, I should have configured it this way, you can change it then and resave it, okay. For instance, right now right now on the I configured let's say for instance, let me show you. Do show, if I want to see all the available interfaces that are on the router, I can use the command do show IP interface brief, and it will show me the interfaces that are available and the IP address that are configured on them. You can see that I configured this IP address on this interface Gigate Ethernet 0/0, and let's say that it was a mistake, okay. It was a mistake, I was not supposed to configure this IP address and I need to change it. Do you think I need to reload all the routers and lose all the configuration that I've done? No, okay. This is a waste of time because you have to configure everything again. So if you just want to change this, yeah, you can change it. You go back to the interface Gigate Ethernet 0/0, okay, and you can, for instance, use the command. You can, for instance, when it comes, for instance, to do such a mistake, you can just configure, for instance, the same the correct IP address. For instance, IP address 192.168 for instance 2.254. You put the subnet mask. Let's say that this is the correct one, okay. And when you press OK, here I put more 255.255.0. when you press OK, you see that I configured a new IP address. The one that was there before was 192.168.1.254, and the new one is 192.168.2.254. You understand, which is the different. But if I check again my interfaces, do show IP interface brief, you can see that automatically the old one was replaced by the new one. So I don't need to off my router to make this change, and now I can just save my configuration. Okay, so now another way you can change, you can for instance change this or correct this mistake. Let's say that this is another mistake again that I made, and I want to change it, to correct it. So I can do what? Let me go let me exit, and let me go into my running configuration file, do show. So let's say that I'm going through my running configuration file, and when checking my running configuration file, I've noticed that, oh, okay, the IP address that I configured on this interface here is not correct, is the wrong one. So I can remove it. Okay, I need to remove it. I can do what? I can exit the global mode of configuration, go back into that interface gternet 0/0. Okay, and then I can use the command no. Okay, the command no, and you add the comment here, what you configured here. So you add it. Okay, no IP address. Okay, no IP address 192.168.1.2. Okay, .2.254. okay, space 255.255.255.0. okay, so when I'll press enter like this, what will work? I put 3D here. Okay, so now let me show you another thing. I don't know if I talked about it. You see how intelligent or how smart this network device is. I made a typo, I made a mistake, and the device is telling me invalid input detected at this specific place where the marker is. So you can see that the symbol is here. Then this symbol is telling me where exactly I made a mistake. Okay, and you can see that when writing address, instead of putting 2D, I put 3D. That's why it's not working. So what I can do is just to, and then okay, now another one. You are configuring, or you are working on the router and you are configuring stuff. Okay, let's say that you already input a command and you want to go back to this command. You don't have to write it again. You just have to use the arrows that are on the keyboard. Your keyboard. You have the up arrow, the down arrow, the left arrow, and the right arrow. So you use the up and the down arrow to recall those commands that you entered before. So for instance, if I want to recall this command that I entered before, I can use the up arrow. Okay, I can use the up arrow. Using the up arrow, I can recall all the commands that I entered when I was configuring. Okay, so using the up and down arrow, you can recall all those commands you enter at this mode of configuration. You can see they are displaying. So let me recall this command, and let me just change it. Let me remove 1D here and press enter. But now I use this command no IP this, no IP address, no all this, no IP address 192.168.2.254, meaning that I'm removing this configuration from this interface here. Okay, so now if I check again my running configuration file, do show run, you can see that now under this interface gternet 0/0, I don't have any IP address anymore because I remove it using the command no. Okay, so now I can go back. Okay, and that I'm already under this interface, and I can put back the correct IP address 192.168.1.254, 255.255.255.0. okay, and I can exit. I can check again, do show run, and you can see that the correct IP address is now there, is back. And for now I can do what? I can now save my configuration using, for instance, the command do write memory. You understand? So there is no need for you to switch off the network device when you are configuring or when you are making mistakes. Okay, you can just change it and then save it after. Are you okay?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. So now okay, so now that we have done this, let me Okay, where was I? Okay, I did everything. So now what I can do is to try to SSH into the router using what? The laptop which is here. So now I'll go on this laptop here. Let's say that the one who's using this laptop here is this computer here is John. Okay, let me put it this way. Let's say that it is John which is using this laptop, John. Okay, and here it is Paul. Okay, so now what I can do, let me go on Paul computers, okay, and let me try to SSH onto in the router here. I will go on command prompt here. So now from the command prompt here, I will input the command SSH. So the command is SSH minus L. Okay, this is not minus one. SSH minus L. You put the username. For instance, it is John, which is trying to remotely have access to the router. So you put put his username, John. Okay, and you add what, the IP address of the router. Okay, which is 192.168.1.254. Okay, and 254. Okay, so the command is SSH minus L, not 1. Okay, let me emphasize, let me precise, it's not 1, it's L, because I know that students sometimes are confused about it. SSH minus L, you put the username and then you put the IP address of the router. Okay, the IP address of the default gateway which is configured on the router, and then you press enter. You can see that now what is I have to provide what, the password of who, of John password. Okay, I can use, for instance, and the John password is John, and now I'm into the router 1. You see, it's working. Okay, it's working. But now if I go on the router, and I use the command show, I don't know if this command is available on the router here. Let me check. Okay, unfortunately the command is not available on packet tracer. Okay, there is a command, okay, that can help us to see the users, okay, to see the users that are connected to the router. Okay, you can type for instance the command show users, and it will show you, for instance, the user which is connected to the router and the line which one which is in use. Okay, yeah, but unfortunately on packet tracer all the commands are not available. I cannot see it here, unfortunately. So now, okay, let me go back to this device. You can see that right now it is Paul is connected to the router. So I can go to what it is John which is connected to the router. Now let me go on Paul computers and I will try. Okay, Paul computers, let me go to command prompt and let's make Paul. Let's connect Paul to the router using SSH. So SSH minus L. The username is Paul. The IP address 192.168.1.254, and I'll press enter. The password of Paul is Paul. Okay, and now I'm also into the router. So at the same time, you can see at the same time John is connected. At the same time, okay, John is connected. At the same time, Paul also is connected. You understand? But now I told you that it means that right now, okay, both are connected at the same time. Okay, just a minute. Let me verify. Okay, both are connected at the same time. So let's say that, for instance, if I had a third device, let me add let's say that let me add a third device. You know that right now only 2 line V1s are activated, okay, for SSH. Okay, 2 line V1 that are activated for SSH. If I have a third device which is here, that also wants to have access to the router using SSH, do you think it will work? So let me give this one to 192.168.1.3. The default gateway IP address 192.168.1.254.1.254. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, let me try to SSH into the router using this new device, and let's see if it will work. So SSH minus L. Okay, and then there's not even an account. Okay, I think I created a third account. It was the Chris account. So let's say that this device is used by Chris. Okay, Chris. Okay, is used by Chris. And then now let me go on the Chris laptops here. Let me try to access the router. So Chris, the IP address of the router 192.168.1.254. Let me press enter. You can see that now. What's wrong? One device is out or what? Um, just a minute. It's like one device is. Why is it working? Control Shift 6. Okay, password. Term 1 expert. Okay. Let me use it again. Let me try again. Let me exit. Don't know why it's working. It's not supposed to work. So let me exit on all of them at the same time. Aborted. This one too. Exit. Okay. So no connection for this one. No, let me exit from this one too. Okay. No connection for this one. No connection for this one. No connection from this one too. Okay, I configured 3 local accounts. Let me check. Do show run. Okay. Yes. So now let me check my line virtual. Do show run. Line virtual. Line virtual 01. Okay, login local. Transport input SSH. Yes. So here is only login. So it normally is not supposed to work. Let me try. Okay. Let me go on this one. IP SSH. Okay. SSH minus L John 192.168.1.254 John. Okay, let me go on this one faster. SSH minus L Paul 192.168.1.254 Paul Paul. Okay, so let me go on this one. Let me try SSH minus L Chris 192.168.1.254. Whoa, strange. But it's not even working. CHR. I don't know why, but normally it's not supposed to work. Let me check something. Why is it not doing that? Line VHY line v1 2 up to 4 question. Just a minute. Just want to check something. Okay, so let me try again. Exit, exit, exit. Okay, let me try again. Okay, this is John. Okay, this is Paul. Okay, wait. Okay, this is Paul. Okay. You can see right now it's not working. Okay, now it's not working. You can see that when I'm trying right now, okay, John is connected, Paul is connected, okay, Paul is connected, but when Chris is trying to connect, it's not working. I don't know why he's doing that. Normally it's not supposed to connect. As I said, if only two virtual lines are activated, the third device cannot be connected. And this is what this normally how it should work. So what I've done is to make sure that, okay, though the other ones are not present, okay, so by doing what, I don't know why the other ones were not, because packet tracer is not really that is not perfect. Okay, so normally on the other line virtual, if I check the line virtual, do show run. Normally on the other line virtual, okay, on the other line virtual, when you activate them like this, line virtual 0 up to 1 for SSH, actually I only activated SSH for two line virtual 0 and 1. So meaning that two devices should only be able to connect at the same time. The third one can't connect at the same time. But I don't know why packet tracer was giving the possibility to a third device to connect. Okay, even knowing that even on the other line here I did not configure anything. But what I've done, I went to those other lines that were present, that were activated by default, and I said transport input none. Okay, in order to tell them, okay, don't let's say activate anything by default. Okay, and then when I've done this, now when I'm trying to connect the three at the same time, it's not working. Are you okay? Okay, but I just wanted to prove it that what I was saying is true. Right now there's only two line virtual activated, so only two devices should connect on the device at the same time. And right now Paul is connected, John is connected, Paul is connected, but if Chris tries to connect, it won't work because there is no third virtual lines activated. So now let me go on the router, let me increase it. As I said, so I activated line virtual 0 and 1, and I want Chris to connect also at the same time as the other one. So I can create a new line virtual for Chris. For instance, line virtual, I created line virtual 1, line virtual 1, 0 and 1. I can go, for instance, under line virtual 2, okay, and activate it for what, transport input SSH, okay, and use the command login, the command login local, okay, so that it will prompt me to use my username and my password, and then I can use what I think it's okay, right? Line virtual transport input SSH login local. So now I can do what, I can exit. Okay, let me check again, do show run. Okay, so now you can see that, okay, if I go to the line virtual, okay, I have what, I have now what, okay, no, I should have used the yes, you see that now I have what, I have the line virtual from 0. So okay, here, okay, you can see it. Okay, let me show you. I have my line virtual. Okay, let me show you. So now here I have the line virtual 0, 1 and 2 that are activated for SSH. Okay, that activated for SSH. So now the line V1, 3 and 4, they are activated for nothing. Nothing is activated. Transport input none. Okay, so you can see it over there. So now, right now, before, when I was having the two only, line V1, 0 and 1, only Paul and John was able to connect. You can see that right now John is connected, Paul is connected, but before Chris was not able to connect. But when I will try now, you will see that it will be able to connect now, because I have a new virtual line which is available for connection, and Chris is now connected. How are you? Okay? Any questions so far? Yes, Pamela.
Okay, I want us to test something. And the earlier one, the one that had login, and then later you added transport input none.
Yeah.
For line VTY 2 to 4, let's remove the transport input none and then remove the login, and let's try whether it will still allow Chris to log in.
Okay. Do show run. Do show run. So the line V1 that are available right now. Okay. Right now I've used from 0 to 2. So the one that remains are 3 to 4. So I will go under the line VTY. Okay. I will go under the line VTY. Okay. Line VTY 3 to 4. Okay. And then I will remove the no. Okay. No login. I don't know if we can still even remove it. Can we remove it? Let me try. No login and no transport input none. Okay, exit. Let me exit. Let me check. Do show run. Okay, you can see that on the line V1 3 to 4, no login. Okay, meaning there is no login, and transport input none. Even if I put no, it's the same thing. Transport input none and no transport input none is the same thing. Okay, is the same thing. But now, okay, let me try. Okay, let me exit here on the devices. Let me try this one first. Okay, let me exit. Okay, let me make them to connect again at the same time. Okay, John is connected. Paul also is connected. Chris also is connected. Okay, so now let me add a new user. Let me add a new user. Fourth one, username Ted, for instance. Secret Ted. Okay, so we have a new user. Let's say that, okay, let me add a fourth laptop. And this one, let me give him the IP address 192.168.1.4. 192.168.1.254. Okay, let me see if this device can ping the default gateway. Made a mistake. 254. It's working. So let me try to SSH now. SSH -L. Okay, TED 192.168.1.254. You can see that connection closed. Okay, meaning that we only have 3 that are activated. So now what I'm going to do, let me go back to the router. Okay, let me go back to the router. Okay, let me go back to the router, to the line VHY 3 and 4. Okay, now let me put the login. Okay, let me put back the login. Okay, let me put back the login. Okay, and let me put back the let me just put back the login and let me exit. Okay, let me check, do show run. Okay, do show run. Let me go under the line VHY, but you can see that now. Okay, let me remove okay, but now, okay, let me just put
This one doesn't go up.
yeah, let me just leave the login. Okay, let me just leave the login, but there is no SSH and Telnet configured. Are you okay? So normally it shouldn't work because there
Yeah.
is no Telnet and SSH.
Okay.
It shouldn't work. So now let me go on this device. Let me exit.
Yeah.
Let me go on this device. Let me exit. Let me exit from all of them. Exit. Let me exit this one also. Let me exit also from this one. Okay, now let me do it again. Let me connect this one. John is connected. Okay, let me go to Paul. Paul also is connected. So now let me go to Chris. Chris also is connected. But now Ted, normally Ted should not be able to connect. It is not working. Are you okay?
Okay.
It's not working.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay, even if there is the login which is there, and I said the login is just for the router to request to request or to ask the person who is trying to have access to it to provide what the password. So login is for the router to request for the password, and login local is for the router to request for the username and the password. You understand? The login and the login local has nothing to do with the fact that the line virtual support SSH or Telnet. You understand?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they are let's say I can say that they are mainly related to the password provided to the route to the network device. If it is login, it will request for the password. If it is login local, it will request for the username and the password. Okay? Olufemi, yes, go ahead.
Sorry, time up. Then this configuration, are we going to do this configuration on each of the system, or we can use one system to configure all in case we're having more than one of these four systems?
What do you mean by system? What do you call by system?
I mean the laptop.
Configure what on the
All
laptop?
this PC John 1, PC John 2. I'm talking of the real life now. Probably in a company that will have more than 10 or 20 system. Are we
Ah,
going to do the configuration on each of the system?
you are talking about the user account, Abi.
Yes, all this
Okay,
configuration of this command and everything.
yes. Now, if you have a small networks, okay, if you have a small if you have the small you have a small network, okay, and in your small network, let's say that you have a certain number of routers. Let's say that, for instance, this is your network. You have, let's say that, 4 routers, and you have another switch here. You have other devices that are connected here. So now, if you want all, let's say that you have two network engineer, okay. No, right now I configured how many accounts? I think I configured uh, okay, 4 user accounts. Okay, and if you have 4 network engineer, you have 4 network engineer or 4 network administrator in your network. So what you have to do is to make sure that all the 4 accounts are configured on all the 4 devices, on all the devices. You have to configure it there. But now, if you have a small number of network devices in your network, it's okay. Okay, it won't be that tiring configuring those account on all those the routers, for instance. Okay, but imagine if you have a network that has 500 routers and you have to configure all the accounts locally on those 500 routers. That one will be tiring. It will take time, even a month or 2 or 3 to configure all the account on each of the routers. And you can make mistake as a human. We are not perfect, so you can make mistakes and everything, and then you will take time to make this, and this is tiring. Understand? So now we can have, okay, in networking we have some solution that can help us to provide this automatically. So you can, instead of configuring the user account locally on the device, you can have a server somewhere. Okay, and that server will hold all the accounts of all the account of all the network, the account of all the network administrator in your company. So all the accounts of those network administrator will be stored in this server. Okay, so John, Paul's account, Chris account, Ted account. Okay, so now each time a device here will want to connect, okay, to a network device, that network device will send a request to the server to check if the account is available, and it will grant access to the network to that person. Okay, so now this is when you have a big network. In this network you can make now use of a specific server that which is in charge of this process. Okay, which is in charge of this process. But if you have a small network, you can create local accounts. But when you have a big network, local account is not efficient anymore. You should have a server that takes care of this process, this authentication when process. Is it clear enough?
Can't you have both?
You say?
Can you have both the server and the local, so that when the server goes down, you can rely on the local account on the device?
Yeah, but that one you have to configure the local accounts on all of the 500 device for instance, or on some device, on some, let's say, on some little number of devices only. Because if you have, let's say that you have 1,000 routers in your company, and the server is the one in charge of checking the authentication and everything, the server is down, it's not responding anymore. So now locally you have to configure the accounts on the 1,000 routers. See, it will be tiring. So what you can, in this case, if let's say that there is a router, there are some routers that you think, okay, those are main routers, and if the server is not available, you still want to have local accounts on them, you can configure. Yes, you can configure. You can configure the local accounts, so that even if the server is not available, you can still have access to the device using the local account which is there. But you are not going to configure the local account on the 1,000 routers. Imagine, that will be tiring, too much work. Okay, any question again? Okay, so if there is no question, I think we'll stop here for today. Okay, so normally my goals was to start a new topic today, because I was not expecting to do 2 hours for this. But okay, no problem. Okay, I really appreciate the fact that there was a lot of questions and we discussed. I think I like when the session is really interactive like this. It helps to understand stuff and everything. So we'll stop here for today. Okay, and next week, on Friday, we'll start a new topic, and our new topic will be about what we call static routes. Okay, so now
if I may ask, I wasn't in for the kickoff meeting, so I don't know what was discussed. So maybe my question may have been covered in the kickoff meeting. Are we not going to have like intermittent, maybe? I know some people who are taking CCNA in other places, they have I don't know, when they finish this thing, some session, then they write some exam or something, which is not like a class test. I don't know how to call it. Is it the same here?
uh
And I know they have some material also
practicing, right?
from Cisco. Yeah, Cisco. Like it's like a reading, a lot of text for reading, and then yeah, I don't know